15 biggest restaurant chains that are falling apart before our eyes. The rising tide of economic crisis has swept everything in its path, and the food industry cannot hold out much longer in 2023. Major food chains are beginning to slowly crumble under the overbearing pressure of inflation. They are struggling to keep up the demand of its consumers as they are facing problems such as financial debts, increased prices of ingredients, competition from their rivals, and the recent pandemic. These factors prove to be a major setback to the giants of the food industry. Tensions are at an all-time high between corporate and franchisees as losses are reported widely in the chains. Consumers are not happy with the increased prices in their favorite restaurants, which has caused a decrease in sales. These turbulent and uncertain times have caused major food chains to close operations in multiple locations to cope up with these challenges. Today, we've compiled a list of restaurants that may, in the near future, give in and fall apart in these times of crisis. But before that, we put enormous effort into producing data-driven content to show you what's fake and what's real. Subscribe and comment to The Final Economy. 1. Burger King. You've probably heard about Burger King. The food chain started operations in 1953 and has established a name for itself mostly because of their unique taste and phenomenal burgers. It is a major burger joint with locations all over the U.S., but it is not immune in these times of crisis. Burger King plans on closing 400 locations in the U.S. by the end of this year. It has already closed 124 stores at the beginning of the year. The stores are not able to reach their goals and have been underperforming in the tough economic era. Customers complaining that the food quality has decreased and cost has gone up, a deadly combination. According to Today, CEO Joshua Kobza said the company plans to focus on working with smaller franchisees, allowing only high-quality operators to build or acquire existing restaurants who will operate regionally and under local ownership. Statements like these clearly show that Burger King is on shaky ground and could be the start of a demise to a food chain we've all grown to love. 2. Popeyes. Popeyes has always been a go-to food chain for countless people in the U.S. They're popular because of their famous chicken sandwich, which is adored by many and stands out in the food industry. The Popeyes chain has experienced notable business volatility in recent years. They have faced multiple problems. Employees in multiple locations have reported less pay or no pay at all. They just don't have the staff to manage their overwhelming demand, which has left the customers dissatisfied and put their loyalty in question. Almost 40% of Popeyes locations have been forced to curtail operations. They also recently faced severe backlash in the California store when they broke labor laws, forcing a student to work overtime on a school night, which caused the teenager to lack in his studies and not perform well in school. Popeyes immediately closed the store, but the damage had been done. The downsizing of staff to save money and the tough economic times might just be the biggest challenge Popeye has to face. 3. Steak 'n Shake. Steak 'n Shake is a popular food chain that faced major financial pressure in the recent pandemic. Steak 'n Shake lost $7.9 million during the coronavirus outbreak, and they have not recovered since. The company came perilously close to a bankruptcy filing in 2021. It is also in the midst of a massive change in its business model. The burger brand has faced problems throughout the year that resulted in closing more locations than opening them. At the end of 2019, 107 company-owned units were temporarily closed, and 51 permanent closures account for almost half of that total. Let's hope the new business model works out and we don't have to lose this food chain. 4. Applebee's. Applebee's was founded in 1980. It has been facing numerous problems for the last 5 years, which resulted in a steep downturn in business. Applebee's was forced to close about 300 underperforming units as the sales went down a whopping 19%. They faced major financial losses during the pandemic, and the change in business model to accommodate millennials backfired on them. Let's see what the future holds for the struggling company. 5. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2020 after the coronavirus pandemic. They were drowning in debt and have been working hard to get back on solid footing. In 2021, the company reemerged with a different business model to adapt to the current economy. Even before the pandemic, Chuck E. Cheese had been having financial difficulties, and in 2020, the firm was at its breaking point and had to declare bankruptcy. Chuck E. Cheese permanently closed 47 locations across the country. 2023 will be a tough year for Chuck E. Cheese, with evidence strongly suggesting it will close down in the near future. 6. IHOP. IHOP, a renowned food chain that dominated the breakfast industry, has had its fair share of difficulties. They faced a steep decline in sales and customers, with regular customers saying the restaurant is empty and does not have the same traffic as before. The pandemic hit the company hard, with reports of closing over 100 stores in 2020. Sales were at an all-time low and dropped to 40.4% during the coronavirus pandemic. IHOP has been struggling to regain their pre-pandemic sales, and the road ahead is considerably difficult. We're confident we will eventually replace these severely underperforming restaurants with better-performing restaurants, Jay Johns, IHOP's president, said. The crumbling aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic has injured the foundation of the company, and 2023 will be a difficult year for them. 7. Krystal. Krystal filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2020. They've closed a multitude of stores as they restructure during their recent bankruptcy. When Krystal declared bankruptcy in January 2020, franchisees faced sales declines of over 10%. They state that they have between $50 and $100 million in debts, and they've cited rising labor costs, growth of fast casual restaurants, and online delivery services as reasons for their decline. The company closed around 44 stores in late 2019 to cope with financial losses. They were crushed by their rivals. Their conventional methods were deemed as outdated and did not attract customers. Krystal has learned its lesson and started a new prototype recently to keep up with the competition, and aims to start 500 restaurants in the next 3 to 5 years. 8. Papa Murphy's. Papa Murphy's is falling apart. The pizza place where you could customize your own pizza has been facing multiple challenges. The chain has closed more than 100 locations in the past 2 years. The company faced a decline in sales, with sales dropping to low single digits. Many people speculate that the business model is to blame. The tough economy has taken a hold of the business as it struggles to regain its former position. Number 9. Burgerim. Burgerum was one of the most rapidly growing fast food chains, but due to poor management decisions, the company right now is a total wreck. Founder Oren Loney left the country, leaving more than 1,500 franchisees out of tens of millions of dollars. Franchisees sued the company, and the company is on the brink of closing down. Burgerum stores started from just one U.S. location in 2016 to as many as 200 last year. This rapid expansion caused the collapse of Burgerum. 10. Pie 5. Pie 5 gained popularity because of their unique style of making pizza in front of their customers. The concept was fine, but razor-thin margins and decreasing store sales caused the demise of the chain. The company started to cut costs, so they became understaffed, and the locations caused them to face extreme competition. Sales fell around 21.4% and closed 43 restaurants in 2020. 11. Quiznos. Quiznos witnessed a collapse that was never seen before. It is arguably the largest and fastest collapse seen in the food industry, closing down of 4,000-plus stores in 10 years, losing around 90% of their business to this harsh economic climate. The recession of 2007 hit the company hard, and they couldn't recover after that. Increased cost of ingredients and decreased sales were the major problems faced by the company. As of 2022, the company announced plans to redesign the company, showing that it was ready to fight back, encouraging investors to invest and help them revive Quiznos in 2023. 12. Starbucks. The infamous coffee chain has been functional since 1971. The chain has had its fair share of ups and downs in recent years. In 2022, 432 stores have reported to be closed in the U.S., and it's shutting down fast. Numerous branches have reported safety concerns of the employees, decreased profits, and low sales. The coffee giants have come back and said that the closings are strategic and in some cases temporary. They have closed locations in places such as Seattle, Portland, and Los Angeles. More closures are expected in the future because of ever-increasing prices of ingredients and the threat of unionization. Let's see what 2023 holds for the coffee giants. 13. Boston Market. It's a shame to see Boston Market fade away. It was a convenient option to have a fast casual meal that you could have enjoyed. The company has been facing financial problems as long as 1998, when it filed for bankruptcy. To build a sustainable model, they have been shutting down stores. We must take steps to ensure our operational structure will support long-term sustainability, Francis Allen, CEO of Boston Market, said. Already, the chain has diminished its size by 60%. Once, it had more than 1,100 locations across the country, but now only 312 Boston Market restaurants are left. 14. Qdoba. Qdoba is a Mexican fast food chain that was founded in 1995. Supply chain issues, skyrocketing ingredient costs, and the company not paying the employees enough wage have forced the chain to shut down multiple locations in the U.S. The rivals have not been kind to the food chain either. The immense pressure put by their rivals have put the company on their knees. As of right now, 736 restaurants are operational but are expected to close in 2023. 15. Noodles & Company. Noodles & Company was a victim of its own success. With cost-cutting and the greed for early profit, the quality of products decreased tremendously. They reported a loss of $6.1 million in 2022, and in 2017 the chain was forced to close 55 locations because the branches were underperforming. The company also faced a lawsuit for violating labor laws by withholding overtime pay of workers in 2016, which tarnished the image of the company. The delicious food chain recently had a change in leadership, and we hope that will bring some stability to the food chain in 2023.